Persian ripped up the Prophet ﷺ's letter. What did the Prophet ﷺ say to him? The Prophet said, may your hukuma be shredded the way you shredded my letter. The way the Persian was the only one, when he saw the Prophet, he shredded it. The Prophet said, may Allah shred his kingdom. So he sent two people to go grab the Prophet and bring the Prophet to Persia. In that time, his son was attracted to his mother. The Persian Empire did incest. It was very known. Amongst the Majus, incest was very known. So what the son did was that he put poison for his father in a bottle as if it was medicine or something, and he left it inside. So when the father drank it, he died. So he could kill his father for his mother. This happened in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. So when the two people came to the Prophet ﷺ, he turned his face away. And he said, who commanded you to make your faces the way you did, shave your beards? They said, Rabbuna, our Lord did. The Prophet ﷺ said, my Allah said, grow the beard and shorten the mustache. The Prophet ﷺ didn't even want to look at their faces. They said, we have to take you. The Prophet ﷺ said, who said it? They said, our king. The Prophet said, he's dead already. So what do you mean? He said, I think his name is Nosherwan was his name, I think. They said, was his name Nosherwan? It was a long time ago I read this, I don't remember this. But the Prophet ﷺ said, no, he's dead. So when they went and they did tahqiq, yes, our king did die on the way that we were coming here. And the new one, obviously, because he killed his father, he didn't really care about getting the Prophet ﷺ or not. So that was the little story of the little weirdness that happened back in the day. Someone asked a young man, when are you getting married? So he responded, my marriage is like Qiyamah. I don't know when, but it's soon. He said, my marriage is like Qiyamah. We don't know when it's going to happen, but Qiyamah is soon. It's going to happen sometime. وَلَا تَنْكِحُوا مَا نَكَحَ آبَاؤُكُمْ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ إِلَّا مَا قَدْ سَلَفَ إِنَّهُ كَانَ فَاحِشَةً وَمَقْتًا. This is fahish, it's shameful, detestable. وَسَاءَ سَبِيلًا. It is so terrible path. Now these are the ones who are haram upon you, meaning they're your mahram. حرمت عليكم أمهاتكم وبناتكم وأخواتكم وعماتكم وخالاتكم وبنات الأخ. It is haram upon you. Your mahrams are your mothers, your daughters, your sisters, your maternal aunts, your paternal aunts, your maternal aunts, وبنات الأخ وبنات الأخت, your nieces from your brother's side, your nieces from your sister's side. وَأُمَّهَاتُكُمُ اللَّاتِي أَرْضَعْنَكُمْ, and the women who had fed you while you were within 2.5 years. وَأَخَوَاتُكُمْ مِنَ الرَّضَاعَةِ, and the other women that woman had fed as well. By fed I mean obviously milk. وَأُمَّهَاتُ نِسَائِكُمْ, and the mothers of your wives, your mother-in-law is haram on you. She's your mahram. Your mother-in-law is your mahram. وَرَبَائِبُكُمُ اللَّاتِي فِي حُجُورِكُمْ مِنْ نِسَائِكُمُ اللَّاتِي دَخَلْتُمْ بِهِنَّ. Now you have girls, you married a woman, she has a daughter. And you've established relationships with that woman. Meaning, by the way, these things also happen in zina as well. And then there is another concept amongst the ahnaf al-hurmat al-musahara, which is something completely different, and most people don't even know about this actually. So let me start from the top. If a person has a wife that they marry, and she has a daughter from before, the moment they marry her, he marries her, the daughter also becomes, and the moment they establish relations, becomes mahram. However, the same thing happens in zina. If a person commits zina, the mother and the daughters both are haram on her. Mothers and daughters. And to the lesser degree, hurmat musahara means that if a person touches another, this is only in the Hanafi fiqh, by the way. If they touch another person of the gender, of the opposite gender, with lust, and their lust is fulfilled, then also their mother and their daughters become haram on you. It's only in the Hanafi fiqh, it's called hurmat al-musahara. This is the only thing. Most people actually don't even know about this. That though they may not be married, a person can still become their mahram's mother and daughter. And so many times, a person establishes a relationship with someone at a certain age. Years later, they're attracted to their mother or their daughter. They don't even know. They get married to them, and then turns out that that marriage is haram for them. Most people don't know this. And we've seen this happen a few times, where a person had a relationship with a mother or a daughter, and then later on in life, they got married to the other one. But they don't know the fact that it's haram for them to get married to the other one as well. فَإِن لَمْ تَكُونُوا دَخَلْتُمْ بِهِنَّ فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْكُمْ. If you haven't established relationships with the woman, then her prior daughter is not your mahram. وَحَلَائِلُ أَبْنَائِكُمُ الَّذِينَ مِنْ أَصْلَابِكُمْ. And the women that your children had once married, and the women that were the wives of your children. وَأَن تَجْمَعُوا بَيْنَ الْأُخْتَيْنِ إِلَّا مَا قَدْ سَلَفَ. You can't marry two sisters at the same time. One or the other. You can't marry two sisters at the same time. In the Sharia of Yaqub alayhi salam, you could marry two sisters at the same time. The Sharia of the Prophet, you can't. إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ غَفُورًا رَحِيمًا. Allah forgives and Allah is compassionate. Nowadays, we don't marry two sisters. What do? We just trade the whole khandan. We give one boy to them, we take one girl from them, and then that girl and the boys. And next thing you know, it's like I studied with three brothers. All three brothers got married to three sisters. The eldest got married to the eldest girl, middle got married to the middle, third got married to the third. All three of them. No, that's fine. It saves a lot on marriage expenses. Only one mother-in-law, one father-in-law. It was funny was because the young man was studying in madrasa with us, and his father-in-law was our cook. Father-in-law was our cook. So it was very funny. It's because we used to joke around with him, and we used to have, obviously, in madrasa you study, and then someone that you know, and you get married to them. So we're kids, so we used to tease them. But mashallah, all three brothers got married to the same three sisters. Mashallah. وَالْمُحْصَنَاتُ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ إِلَّا مَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ. And the women who are already bound in marriage, you cannot marry them. إِلَّا مَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ, except your bondwomen. كِتَابَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ. It is Allah has written these rules for you. وَأُحِلَّ لَكُمْ مَا وَرَاءَ ذَلِكُمْ أَن تَبْتَغُوا بِأَمْوَالِكُمْ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that you can marry whoever you want besides these women through your wealth. What does Allah teach you? Marry only when you have financial stability. I know this new craze. I'm 18, I want to get married. I'm 19, I want to get married. I'm 17, I want to get married. You can't even fill up your own gas and you want to go get married. No, the condition of getting married is that you're able to financially support the person as well with you. مُحْصِنِينَ غَيْرَ مُسَافِحِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, binding yourself in marriage, and not only for lust. Don't only marry for lust. Beauty will go away, looks will go away, akhlaq will not go away, character will not go away. Marriage, this whole new Hollywood era and Bollywood era, is that marriage is going to be this beautiful dancing in the forest and changing different shalwar qameez every few minutes, and this whole happily ever after. Nobody's happily ever after. Marriage, nobody's happily ever after in marriage. Most people are not. One man was walking in the streets, and this one man was saying shabanam, 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 shabanam. So he said, who is this man? He said, he's in love with shabanam. Walked a little further, and another man is crying, Shabadam, Shabadam. So who is this man? He got married to Shabnam. They said the first one was in love with her. That's why his name Muhabbat Sayyid saying her name. The second one actually got married to her. And then he is the one that actually experienced spending their time. The marriage, everyone's marriages have their issues. Everyone's marriages have problems. No one's marriages are perfect. I haven't come across a couple that got along. In my time, I haven't seen two couples get along at all. Very, very few. Illa masha'Allah. Illa masha'Allah. I can't think of anyone in my mind. Maybe two couples get along. But other than that, everyone I know, it's either the husband is holding the wife accountable, or the wife is holding the husband accountable. It's whoever beats who to the race. But there's always one authority figure at home and they hold the other. Most of the time. It is a test, yeah. Very, very few people I've met. I know my teacher, Mufti Alauddin. He's one man that I met. Who, probably the most unromantic person you'll think of in your life. Was like, I love my wife and she's the one. And I was just like, wait, what? You didn't even cry when your son passed away and over here saying all these like sweet things about your wife. He was like, yeah, he's like, between him and his wife, there was a huge age difference. Huge age difference. But obviously in that Afghanistan, in that Pakistan, in those areas and people of that age, it's normal for them, right? Having 15, 20 years age difference was normal. Nowadays you can't even have like 3 years age difference. It's too far. But in those days it was fine. But he said from his side, he said a very powerful statement one time. And he said this to me multiple times. He said this to me not one time. I heard this from over years of times I've heard him say this statement. He said to me that, Wallahi, if you were to bring all the women from the beginning of time till the end of times, and obviously excluding the Azwaj and the wives of those manat and those, if you were to bring everyone from the beginning of time till the end of time, and you were to tell me to select any other woman, I would select my wife one more time again. It's a very big compliment. Allah? Yeah. He appreciated it. But most people would say, if I had another chance, I would have went for someone else. I was going to marry your sister. Accidentally I saw you. You accidentally came. Or I was going for your friend and then you accidentally came. That's the reality. Very few people. Mona Suleiman Choksi as well. Our teachers, interestingly, they had very close relationship with their wives. And we only saw this afterwards, right? We didn't know that obviously because our culture was not a culture where you made these things apparent. Mona Suleiman Choksi, may Allah bless him, after his wife passed away, he wasn't the same again. And this man was the man that they used to call him the lion of the madrasa. When he used to wake up and he used to walk, the whole school used to shiver. They had that much awe of him. Mona Choksi was a person, the moment he stepped in and you could see him from a glance, there was pin drop silence. This was Mona Choksi. But after his wife passed away a few years ago, very quiet, very doesn't get involved, isn't this? And I'm very close to him, so I would speak to him and I would talk to him. And a lot of people give him advice. Marna, because he's maybe hovering in his mid-60s. But mashallah, Allah's given him, even in that age, noor and looks and things, and he's got so many connections. So people always come, Marna, you need to get married. Marna, you need to get married. I've shadi the barakah, this and that. So we were talking about it a few months ago. And I said, Marna, you know better than I do. Everyone has something to say. But what Bhabi and your relationship was, I said, you will never be able to find that in another person. Marna said, and then Marna started talking about his wife. He said, she was a different woman. He said, in our home in 30 years, not a grain of rice was wasted. She said, when my wife would cook food at home, she first gave food to the cleaning ladies at home. They first ate, and then the rest of them ate. She said, she would take them up first for them. I remember Mona Choksi used to sit in class. Obviously, we studied in Africa, so a lot of the indigenous were Africans, were black. And we hired a lot of non-Muslims in our school as well. There was one by the name of Moses. And he was with us for over 2 decades. Security guy. People there usually, easy, 15, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years in the same spot, normal. most of the people teaching there have been there for over 2 to 3 decades. And they're content, and that's it. That was their life, bread, butter, everything. That's what they did. So Moses was there for over 2 decades. And I remember Mona Chokshi used to say, he said, Mawli Sahab, on the day of judgment, he used to say that, because we used to do a lot of fiqh debates of Hanafi, Shafi, Malik. He said, Mawlana Ahmad Lar, one of his relatives lives here somewhere in your community in Plano. His brother lives here in Plano, actually. Mawlana Ahmad Lar's brother lives in Plano. Older brother too, I think, or younger brother. So Mawlana Ahmad Lar once told Mawli Chokshi, he said, Mawli Chokshi, in the 30, 40 years you've taught, how many Shafis did you make Hanafis and how many Hanafis did you make Shafis? He said, nobody. Maybe one. I said, but that's not our purpose. So he said, you sit here day after day debating these masail and you don't even convert one to the other. Like, how many people did you make Muslim? How many people accepted Islam at your hand? So Maulana Chokshi used to lament that Moses didn't accept Islam being 20 years around us. And that used to tear him. And whenever I would bring something from Maulana, the first thing he would say is that give something to Moses too. Give something. And Moses, mashallah, knows everything. Inshallah, mashallah, assalamu alaikum, everything. But every time the Moses just accept Islam, inshallah, my brother, inshallah I will, inshallah I will. And now he accepts Islam, nothing happens. Right? But you never know. May Allah give him iman in his heart before he passes away. So Maulana Chokshi used to lament that. But anyway, once his spouse passed away, it was different. The relationship was different. And that is qana'ah. That is being content with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you. Not being content. What does Allah say? Asa an takrahu shay'a wa yaj'al Allah fihi khayran kathira. Maybe you don't like something, but there is so much good else. Focus on the good, leave the bad. Don't focus on all the uyub, because if you focus on the defects of your spouses, you will think you are in a miserable relationship. Trust me, all these homes are burning. All these homes are sad. No one's home, nobody goes into their home and their husband's waiting with the flower in their hand and says, Begum, kya khaogi? Right? You know, my wife, what can I feed you? What can I bring for you? No one's home is like this. Illa masha'Allah. Everyone's home's got the same issues. Ask me. We sit and we talk to everyone. Everyone's got the same problems. Persevere through it. Asa an takrahu shay'a wa huwa khayrun lakum. Asa an takrahu shay'a wa yaj'al Allah fihi khayran kathira. Allah may put good in there for you, but have patience. Persevere through it. Don't look at the defects and the faults. You'll lose your own health. Stay positive. Stay happy. Find happiness. Get hobbies. Get friends. Get yourself some fresh air. And once in a while, go on a sabbatical. A sabbatical is where the spouses, wife goes somewhere, husband goes somewhere, and they have their own little time off. If not every year, every 2 years. If not at least once in 3 years, both spouses should have a month or 2 months break from each other. What does it do? Zur ghibban tazdad hubban. The Arabic saying is, meet someone infrequently and the love and muhabbat grows. When you grow a little, the heart grows fonder when there's distance. And there's muhabba in there. But then you're seeing the same people, the same fights and the same arguments and the same issues and the same problems. And then mashallah, we each have everything memorized more than Kiram and Katibin. 40 years ago, on the 6th month, on this day, your mother did not give me mithai first in your sister's wedding. It's like, oh Allahu Akbar, what just happened over here now? Khair.
وَأُحِلَّ لَكُمْ مَا وَرَاءَ ذَلِكُمْ أَن تَبْتَغُوا بِأَمْوَالِكُمْ مُحْسِنِينَ غَيْرَ مُسَافِحِينَ. The purpose of marriage is not only lust. There's more than that. Abhi sitaro se aage aur bhi jahan hai. Abhi ishq aur bhi imtihan hai. Allama Iqbal says, you think the world ends at the stars, but the world is far more beyond the stars. The same way, your love and muhabba right now, this is just one heart pain. You will suffer many heartbreaks and many heart pains throughout your life. فَمَا اسْتَمْتَعْتُمْ بِهِ مِنْهُنَّ فَآتُوهُنَّ أُجُورَهُنَّ فَرِيضَةً. If you have established relationships with your spouses, then give them their mahr. وَلَا جُنَاهَ عَلَيْكُمْ فِي مَا تَرَاضَيْتُمْ بِهِ مِنْ بَعْدِ الْفَرِيضَةِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ عَلِيمًا حَكِيمًا. Now, if the spouse mutually changes the dowry, there's nothing wrong with it. If it's on them, then it's okay. If they want to say, no, we want less, more, then that's fine. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ مِنْكُمْ طَوْلًا أَنْ يَنْكِحَ الْمُحْصَنَاتِ الْمُؤْمِنَاتِ فَمِمَّا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانِكُمْ مِنْ فَتَيَاتِكُمُ الْمُؤْمِنَاتِ. And the ones who can't marry a woman who is chaste and who is free and who is someone that they like, then فَمِمَّا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانِكُمْ, marry the women that are already enslaved. Now when you marry them and then you have children from them, you will also free them and you will also strive towards their freedom. So all of these were encouraged to eradicate slavery. The purpose of Islam, if you look through all the ayahs of slavery, it's always about eradicating slavery. So if Allah is encouraging you to marry slave women, what does that mean? Now once you marry them, their time is limited between you and their owner. So you will strive to pay off their debts. And the whole concept of slavery was to remove the institutionalization of prisons that they have today. So the idea was keep them at home, show them the akhlaq of Islam, and hopefully they will convert into Islam. That was the idea, and the slaves had huquq. The slavery of Islam was not like the slavery of the colonists before. وَاللَّهُ أَعْلَمُ بِإِيمَانِكُمْ, and Allah knows your iman. بَعْضُكُمْ مِنْ بَعْضٍ, some of you are from some. فَانْكِحُوهُنَّ بِإِذْنِ أَهْلِهِنَّ وَآتُوهُنَّ أُجُورَهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ مُحْصَنَاتٍ غَيْرَ مُسَافِحَاتٍ وَلَا مُتَّخِذَاتِ أَخْدَانٍ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, so marry them with the permission of their masters and give them what they are owed as recognized. They are bound in marriage. Don't marry just for lust or just so that you may have a certain moment to fulfill your lust, but beyond that, marriage has its own huquq. And unfortunately, marriage is dropped down to this. The Prophet ﷺ says, how can one of you hit their wives and hit them and then abuse them and then after that approach them? The Prophet ﷺ says, this is dhulm. فإذا أحسن فإن أتين بفاحشة فعليهن نصف ما على المحسنات من العذاب ذلك لمن خشي العنة منكم وأن تصبروا خير لكم والله غفور رحيم. Say you married a bondwoman and now she committed zina. Now the zina that's been on her, what azab does she give? Remember, the bondwomen, they get their rights are half of a free person. So for example, their witness, when they witness, their witness is equal to half a witness of a free person. But however, also in adab as well, if they make a mistake, they're only punished half of a free person, not more. The colonists, they punish their slaves more than they punish their free people. But the Prophet ﷺ said, no, the ones they have half rights, so they should also get punished and be given half the violations as well. يريد الله ليبين لكم ويهديكم سنن الذين من قبلكم ويتوب عليكم الله عليم حكيم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala desires to clarify for you and guide you سنن الذين من قبلكم, the ways of the people before you. ويتوب عليكم الله عليم حكيم, and Allah is wise and He knows and He is what? والله يريد أن يتوب عليكم ويريد الذين يتبعون الشهوات أن تميلوا ميلا عظيما. Allah intends to turn to you graciously and forgive you, and those who follow their desires, they want to deviate you from the right path. يريد الله أن يخفف عنكم وخلق الإنسان ضعيفا. Allah wants to make things easy for you. However, humans have been created ضعيفا, weak. Humans have been created ضعيفا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل إلا أن تكونوا تجارة عن تراض منكم. O you who believe, don't eat each other's wealth and don't devour one another's wealth through a haram means. Islamic finance is a whole field. There's a whole culture of how to do business Islamically. Most people don't know this. They think any type of Islam is only salah, zakat, sawm, nikah. No. There's more to Islam than these things. There's a whole concept of Islamic finance. And the entire concept of Islamic finance is built on few principles. Number one, adamul jahala, that there should be a limitation of ignorance of an unknown aspect. For example, a person comes and says, I'll sell you something, buy it, but you don't know what's inside of it. You can't buy these things. Why? It's because there's jahala inside there. Now, what is an object going to be inside? Beneficial, not beneficial. You want it, you don't want it. No, this is type of a gambling, a lottery. So this is not permissible. Because anything that leads to arguments or fights, Sharia says you should abstain from it when it comes to finance and Islamic finance. Because it can create financial differences, can create differences of the heart. Therefore, Sharia reminds us to do business in a manner where there is clarity. Write it down. There is no disagreement with one another. So Allah is saying, لا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل إلا تكونوا تجارة عن تراض منكم. That both of you are happy. In Surah Baqarah, the ayat of business is the longest ayah. The longest ayah. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ بِكُمْ رَحِيمًا. And do not kill one another. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is compassionate. وَمَنْ يَفْعَلْ ذَلِكَ عُدْوَانًا وَظُلْمًا فَسَوْفَ نُصْلِيهِ نَارًا وَكَانَ ذَلِكَ عَلَى اللَّهِ يَسِيرًا. And whosoever kills someone else out of enmity and out of oppression, Allah says, I will cast them in the fire of Jahannam. And this is easy for Allah. إِن تَجْتَنِبُوا كَبَائِرَ مَا تُنْهَوْنَ عَنْهُ نُكَفِّرْ عَنْكُمْ سَيِّئَاتِكُمْ وَنُدْخِلْكُمْ مُدْخَلًا كَرِيمًا. Allah says, إِن تَجْتَنِبُوا كَبَائِرَ. If you stay away from the major sins, نُكَفِّرْ عَنْكُمْ سَيِّئَاتِكُمْ. We will automatically forgive the minor sins. وَنُدْخِلْكُمْ مُدْخَلًا كَرِيمًا. And we will enter you into Jannah. What is the difference between a major and a minor sin? But what is it? How do you classify the difference between a major and a minor sin? G? What's she saying? That is one opinion. Anything else? There is no hudud for disrespecting parents. Is that major or minor? You just said right now, hudud, there's no hudud for it. Allah has mentioned many things. There are many opinions between what is major and minor sin, the difference between the two. Number one opinion. A major sin is something that there is a capital punishment for, as the sister said. Number two, a major sin is that sin upon which Allah has given a punishment or given His la'na for inside the Quran, or a wa'id, or spoke against it. Number three, the Prophet ﷺ says, "Sab'u mubiqat." There are 7 things that will destroy you. Number 1, murder. Number 2, uquq al-walidayn, disobeying the parents. Number 3, firar min al-zahaf, running away from battle. Number 4, drinking alcohol. Number 5, riba. Number 6, sihr, magic. Number 7, stealing. And between the Sahaba, they said there are 9 of them. So not all 7 that I've mentioned right now are from the Sab'u Mubiqat. There's a total of 9 amongst the different opinions of the Sahaba. So 1, 2 of them are from the other ones. Which ones did I mention so far? Who is just one person?
Yaminul Ghamuz, breaking a promise. Qadful Muhsanat, accusing someone of zina that should not have, that is chaste. There are 9 now, right? Magic and aklur riba were added by other Sahaba who said that there's actually more than 7. The others are the original 7. And if I make a mistake tomorrow, I'll correct it. Or Saturday, I'll correct it, inshallah. Do It's not considered in the major sins, but I haven't finished yet. The correct opinion between major and minor sin is every sin is a major sin and every sin is a minor sin. It's a major sin for the sin below it, and a minor sin for the sin above it. So for example, murder is major sin, but zina is a minor sin to murder. But zina is major compared to theft, and theft is minor for zina. So every sin holds an element of major, and every sin holds an element of minor to it. Yeah? Shirk is kufr. Lying, again, every sin falls, the correct, there's a lot of opinions in this. The correct opinion is that every sin holds a property for being a major and a minor sin, based on its positioning, based on how severe it is. It can also be considered a major, it can also be considered a minor. That is why you should do tawbah for all sins. And al-ishraq billah might be one of the sab'a mubiqat, now that I'm thinking about it. I read this a very long time ago, so I didn't get a chance to review it before teaching the dars of sab'a mubiqat, but I'll look into it. Ishraq billah might be one of them. Oh, I want to look at it again, because ishraq can also be considered kufr, right? No, I'm talking about the hadith of Sabr al-Mubiqat. The specific hadith is the 7 Sabr al-Mubiqat. I'm talking about that. I can't remember it clearly right now, but inshallah, I'll look into it and then tell you all about it. وَلَا تَتَمَنَّوْا مَا فَضَّلَ اللَّهُ بِهِ بَعْضَكُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ. Do not desire what Allah has given some superiority than others. لِلرِّجَالِ نَصِيبٌ مِّمَّا اكْتَسَبُوا وَلِلنِّسَاءِ نَصِيبٌ مِّمَّا اكْتَسَبْنَ. For the men, they have a portion of what they earn, and for the women, they have a portion of what they earn. وَاسْأَلُوا اللَّهَ مِنْ فَضْلِ. Ask Allah for His fadl. إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمًا. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is wise and knowing of everything. Today, Islam does promote equality. However, equality does not mean that everything has to be identical. There is this common culture, and it's understood that the sisters feel restricted, and the sisters feel frustrated that the amount of events and amount of programs, amount of things that boys get access to, the girls don't have the access to the same thing. And it happens. However, every single thing that may happen for the brothers cannot happen for the sisters. And everything that happens for the sisters cannot happen for the brothers. It's not logical. You don't go to Allah and say, Ya Allah, why did you only make male prophets? Why wasn't there a female prophet? It's Allah's decision. He's given someone something and He's given someone else something else. He gives mother Jannah underneath their feet. You don't see men running around saying that, oh, you know what, why isn't there Jannah under our feet? This is fadl of Allah. He gives to whom He wills. So, with our cultural ideology, we have cultural baggage, whether it's Desi culture or American culture, we have cultural baggage. Our culture here is that, no, the girl must do the exam. If my boy is coming home at midnight, my girl has to also be able to, no. Neither should your boy do it, neither should your daughter do it. But the point is that if a boy is staying outside a little hour to hour, there's a difference in a boy staying out. And again, not justifying it, not saying it's okay, but I'm saying that for a girl coming a little earlier, look at the climate around. A boy naturally is able to defend more predominantly themselves than a girl can. More predominantly. So there is a certain level of restrictions that will come a little more on the girls than the boys. I'm not saying to do injustice that your boys are out till 2 a.m. in the morning and your girls are home by 2 p.m. No, that's obviously injustice. Right? But I'm talking about something balanced. I understand, okay, tell the girls, come back by 6, 7 p.m. Yes, there's a chance of fitna, there's a chance of something, someone can harm them. How are they? There's a chance and there's the fear. Okay, boys, you come back by 9, 10 p.m. Okay, there's that little bit extending amount of time. But then again, they also have their defense mechanism. There is a level of their own ability. Now, if your girls have the defense mechanism or your boys don't have it, the rules change. But it doesn't mean just because you do something for one, identically you must do it for the other. That's not the concept of Islam. What does Allah say? وَلَا تَتَمَنَّوْا مَا فَضَّلَ اللَّهُ. Don't desire the fadl that Allah has done. بَعْضَكُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ. Some upon others. لِلرِّجَالِ نَصِيبٌ. For the men there is something مِمَّا اكْتَسَبُوا, of what they've earned. وَلِلنِّسَاءِ نَصِيبٌ مِمَّا اكْتَسَبْ. And for the women there is a portion. وَاسْأَلُوا اللَّهَ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمًا. And ask Allah of His fadl, because Allah gives to whom He wills, and indeed Allah is knowing and understanding. وَلِكُلٍّ جَعَلْنَا مَوَالِيَ مِمَّا تَرَكَ الْوَالِدَانِ وَالْأَقْرَبُونَ. For everyone we have made heirs in what the parents and the nearest family have left behind. وَالَّذِينَ عَقَدَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ فَآتُوهُمْ نَصِيبَهُمْ. As for those of you who have made a pledge, give those shares. You stand up, donation time, everybody's excited. But when the time comes for wusul, then no one answers their phones. You make a promise, you make a pledge, pay for it. I'm going to do something, do it. Don't come back with these other hilas in your mind. No, well, not right now, you know what? I'm going to combine this goat that I'm going to slaughter with the goat of my qurbani and then do it together. No. Allah gives and Allah blesses. Spend in Allah's path and Allah will give to you. إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ شَهِيدًا. Indeed, Allah is a witness to everything. الرِّجَالُ قَوَّامُونَ عَلَى النِّسَاءِ بِمَا فَضَّلَ اللَّهُ بَعْضَهُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ وَبِمَا أَنفَقُوا مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ فَالصَّالِحَاتُ قَانِتَاتٌ حَافِظَاتٌ لِلْغَيْبِ بِمَا حَفِظَ اللَّهُ والتي تخافون نشوزهن فعظوهن واهجروهن في المضاجع واضربوهن. They can ask a question, inshallah. So there's two types of punishments. One is ta'zeer and one is hudud. Hudud is capital punishment. Ta'zeer is a judge's discretion that he can punish the person in whatever capacity that they find that person guilty in. However, the ruling of ta'zeer is it has to be less than hudud. So for example, if hudud is 100 lashes, ta'zeer has to be 99. Maximum. It could be 5, 10, 15, 20, but the person has flex. The judge doesn't mean he can't hold him accountable. He will hold him accountable, but the capital punishment won't be established. A person steals, there's a doubt in it. His hand won't be that, but there is the judge can hold him in jail, hold him in contempt. All that is fine. Very good question. One time, the father of Nu'man bin Bashir radiallahu ta'ala anhu had a debate with his wife. And he wanted to give Nu'man bin Bashir a garden that he owned. Hadith is in Bukhari. So the wife said, no, I don't think you're doing this right. Go to the Prophet ﷺ, talk to the Prophet ﷺ, we have other kids as well. So he went to the Prophet ﷺ and said, Ya Rasulullah, I'm making you a witness that I've given this garden of mine as a gift to Nu'man. Nu'man bin Bashir is one of the youngest Sahabi to be alive because he was very slow when the Prophet passed away. The Prophet ﷺ said, I will not be a witness to this zulm. The Prophet was first asked, how many kids do you have? He said, I have 10. Did you give all of them the same thing? No, Ya Rasulullah. He said, I won't be a witness to this zulm. When you give to your children, you should do as equal as possible. Now, does it make it haram? No, it doesn't. But you will create jealousy and malice and stuff in the hearts of your children. And I think that in terms of, if you're going to give to your children, instead of giving one a car and not one a car, give both of them half the value until both of them work for half of it. At the end of the day, the girls are going to work, the boys are going to work. This is our culture. We don't have that culture where they're going to sit at home and this and that. No, that culture is gone. The boys cook, the girls cook. The boys work, the girls work. This is our culture in America. So you have to see it from the cultural lens you are. India, Pakistan, different story. Over there, back at home, you can say, you know what, give them some properties, you know what, they'll eat from it for the rest of their lives, so that's fine, that's okay. But over here, it doesn't work like that. You should be giving equality, especially when it's big gifts like that. Small things is different, right? It's like, doesn't mean if you give one fried chicken to one boy, you have to give another fried chicken, measure the leg and say, okay, you know what, this one has a little more volume than the other one. No, it doesn't have to be that equal, but as much as you can. That's great, but you can do that in multiple ways. You can tell him to work and to take care of bills, his cell phone bill. You can say there's other things a way around it, right? At the end of the day, but a car is a gift. Bills are debts. You could use them to pay for groceries and these other things. These are debts. These are costs. Teach them, advice from there. You're now going to teach this boy to earn $10, $20, $30,000. The boy doesn't even know how to save $100. Start small and then grow. That's different. It's because that's career choices, right? That's debt again. One incurred more debt than the other did. There's a difference between debt and there's a difference between a gift. Those are two different things. The boy incurred debt by going and studying on a certain thing, or girl incurred debt by studying a different field. That debt level is different. That's different. Now, because one person's intellect allows them to become an IT specialist, another one's intellect allows them to become an advocate. It's two different fields. Anyone else? Go ahead. No, but that debate is with Allah and His Messenger, not with us. It's not us that said that a person should not travel beyond 3 days, and the one who believes in Allah and the last day should not travel beyond 3 days and 3 nights. Yeah, okay, there is flexibility in the issue that Imam Shafi'i rahmatullah alayhi says if there is a safe caravan, there is a safe passage. But opening these doors and opening these areas, it's not us who put the doors there. It's from Shari' himself. It's from Allah's Messenger himself. So there is going to be a level of difference, and Allah says, وَلَا تَتَمَنَّوْا مَا فَضَّلَ اللَّهُ. Don't see, okay, well, there is going to be some differences. You cannot establish 100% equality. It's not logical. It's a great Western concept. It's great. Be practical about it. You can. Are our wages equal? No. Are our government leaders equal? No. Have we had a woman president yet? No. Have we had the same amount of equal teachers and professors? No. You can't sit there at a bar and provide inequality to your citizens and then say, well, no, there's equality everywhere else. Wait, where did you establish it? Where did you implement it? You didn't. The reality is that there is going to be at times differences. There are going to be, now, for example, if a woman gets maternity leave, there are some countries that give the father maternity leave. What do you need maternity leave for? No, I need maternity leave too because I have to be around the table. If everyone starts taking maternity leave, then who's going to be there for the community? Tomorrow, there's not every community has people of that talent and of that caliber. You have to take things logically and not emotionally, and see things as the idea. What is the concept of equality? Yes, there is salah, this and that. But then, what are you going to say tomorrow when someone says, "Why are the men standing front and the women in the back in salah?" Give me a solution to that. Come and have the men move to the side and have men and women pray salah next to each other, side by side, and give the argument in the haram. It happens the same way. It's not practical.
Why do we have only male imams and not female imams leading our salah? Put a female to lead salah. These are decisions of the Shari', the one who made the law. There are levels we can bring things. As there can be male scholars, there can be female scholars. Sure, you can have equality in that sense. As you can have male authors, you can have female authors. You can have male people running for government. You can have female people running for government. These things, laws, and that's fine. You can have male work, you can have female work. That's fine. These things are okay, but you cannot establish equality in 100% of the things. It just doesn't happen. You can't do it with your children. You can't do it with your family. You can't do it with anybody. It's not humanly possible. And Allah says, I've given some لِلرِّجَالِ نَصِيبٌ, some a position and some another position. Everyone has their own way. Don't look at someone else. You know what we have done? Modern day people, in the guise of feminism, they have taken what a man is and they've tried to replicate the man's lifestyle as a woman's lifestyle with the guise of freedom, which is incorrect, because you are imposing male stereotypes and male aspects on a concept of women. There are so many women who don't want to study, who don't want to work, who don't want to do these things, but there's this imposition. No, you have to get this thing. You have to. So you go in from a choice to a force. And you go from a option to the only possibility. And that's where you think to yourself and you reflect that, wait, are we accomplishing the concept of equality or not? We have to have an honest question. And I say the same thing, that, you know what, before giving me a lecture on equality, where's the equality in our wages? This is from Sharia that we allow these things, the equality in wages and these things. Why isn't it there? So Jazakallah khair. I think it's salat time right now. I shall have some of that. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dua. Razia auntie? She left? She's right there. Dua. Small dua first, inshallah. Dua, inshallah, we'll have adhan, inshallah. The boys can give adhan, please.